Let's give it for Cody.
All right. When asked about my father, my mama always said, honey, when he was good, he was very, very good. And when he was bad, he was horrid. And so, as a little girl, she was very careful to only ever tell me the very, very good. And then, as a young woman, I heard all about the horrid. And in the end, I decided that I was really better off without him. At 18, I bought a Volkswagen van, my dream car. It was a 71, with a boy I had been lusting after since junior high. We were super excited. We were going to take our first cross-country road trip. The van was really like busted up and the engine was broken when we first started, but we fixed it, and it was just so exciting when we turned the key the first time and it turned over, and I was just so proud of myself. I felt like I'm becoming the woman I want to be. I can fix a car, and we're taking off, and we're hitting the road, and we left, and it was great. And then when we were in the Shenandoah Mountains of Virginia, the brakes went. And they just really just kind of stopped working, and James was driving, and I remember looking over at him and thinking, like, it's just so hot how he pumps the brakes like that and downshifts and we don't hit anybody. And we drove it that way all the way to my godparents' house in Ashland City, Tennessee. And so by the time we got there, it was a mess, and it took me about a month to fix everything that we broke. So I had to replace all the brake lines and all the brake pads. And on that final day, when I was putting the rear tire on the driver's side, my godfather Tony came out and he said, Cody Lee, I got a surprise for you. And I turned around, and there, standing in front of me, was my father. Surprise. And I had imagined this moment my whole life. And when I was little, I thought, like, he's gonna come and he's gonna meet me and he's gonna hear my beautiful voice and he's gonna whisk me away and I'll be singing back up for B.B. King. And then I got a little older and I thought, if I ever see that son of a bitch, I am gonna punch him in the face. And then I got a little older and I thought, like, if I ever see him, I'm not even gonna talk to him because he does not deserve to hear the cadence of my voice. And what do I do when I see my father? But I just cry. I just cry like a little girl, and I cry and I cry, and he picks me up and he swings me around, and he's come with a tow truck. He's gonna tow my van back to his house, and we're gonna fix it up together, and he wants to make sure I'm safe. And we're driving down the road, and my car's getting towed behind this truck, and I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing? How did I get here? And all of a sudden I hear this crash. And I look in the rearview mirror, and my tire is bouncing down the road, and there's sparks flying out from the side of my van. And it was a mess. The next day, it's on blocks in front of Eddie's Bait and Tackle. My dad lives in a trailer behind Eddie's Bait and Tackle, and James and I are going to stay in the tour bus. And the beginning of this, in the beginning, it's all right. I just sort of, he introduces me to all his friends, and I try to play nice and keep my head down and not cause problems like my mama taught me. And then after a while, I just can't take his bullshit anymore. And he's just so mean and he's so nasty, and we start to fight. And once we start to fight, the pieces that I need to fix my van start appearing. They start showing up, and he doesn't actually help me work on it. But the parts are there, so I spend every day out in front of Eddie's Bait and Tackle, fixing the frame, putting the tires back on, replacing the brakes. And I got this little entourage of backwoods hillbillies that come out and sort of automotively sexually harass me in between breaks of the Jerry Springer show, that's on all the time at Eddie's. And one day when I'm putting that last tire on, my dad comes over and now he's gonna help. As I'm all done, I'm trying to take it off the blocks, and he's being really pushy, and he's trying to position the jack right underneath this really fragile part of the van, and I tell him he can't do that, because if he does that, it could break, and I don't want to be stuck with you anymore. And he's getting pushy, and he's telling me that he knows what he's doing, and I'm getting pushy back, and I was like, I never needed you the first 20 years, I don't need you now. And he just snaps, he loses it, and he pulls his fist back, and I'm right in front of him, and I think, holy shit, my dad is gonna punch me in the face. Like, he's ready, he's crazy. And instead of being scared, all of a sudden, I'm just excited. I realize, like, this is the moment I have been waiting for. I've been prepared for this. And I've got the handle to that jack in my hand, this big iron pipe. And I was like, I am ready. I am ready. And I'm going to hit you for every time you hit my mama. And I'm going to hit you. I'm going to hit you for every little hurt you did to all my brothers and sisters that they're still carrying around. And in that moment, I felt more like his daughter than I had ever felt. And And we're just caught in that moment, and then all of a sudden something breaks, and he punches the van right in front of my face. He just hits that van, and he walks into Eddie's Bait and Tackle. And I just kind of stand there and decompress, and I look around, and there's my little entourage of backwoods hillbillies kind of nodding at me like, yeah, this is better than Jerry Springer. All right. All right, good job, girl. Good job, girl. The next morning, I was on a Greyhound bus back to Maine. Thank you.